Hello everyone, I'm Shruti Parashar. Welcome back to my channel Biology 360. Today I'm going to discuss the topic types of immunity. Number 1, innate immunity. I have divided this topic in two parts. Today in this part I'm going to discuss about the innate immunity, and in the next part I'm going to discuss about the acquired immunity. This topic is important for students studying in ICSE, CBSE, IGCSE and HSC board, and for students preparing for various competitive exams like NEET and Olympiad exams. Immunity. It is the resistance exhibited by the host towards injury caused by pathogens and their products. So immunity is a kind of resistance. Immunity is also called as the defense mechanism. Immunology is a branch of science which deals with the study of immune system, immune responses to foreign substances, and their role in resisting infection by pathogens. So immunology is basically a subject. It's a branch of science. And this branch, it deals with the study of immune system, immune responses, how exactly an organism gives response to the foreign substance, and how the organism is able to resist the infection caused by pathogens. Important features of immune system are it can distinguish between self and non-self cells. So the immune system will generally act against the non-self or the foreign cells. And these non-self or the foreign cells are called as antigen. Antigen is represented by letters capital A, small g. It's any foreign substance invading body and capable of stimulating an immune response. Antibody is represented by letters capital A and small b. These are the protective chemicals which are produced by immune cells in response to antigens. Students must know the definition of antigen and antibody. Many times in exam, students might get the question to define what is an antigen and what is an antibody. We move on to the types of immunity. The first type of immunity is innate or inborn or inherited, and the second type of immunity is acquired or adaptive immunity. As I mentioned earlier in this lecture, I will be discussing about the innate or inborn immunity. It is the resistance to infections that an individual possesses by virtue of his or her genetic makeup. So an individual has innate immunity because of his or her genetic makeup. It is an inborn immunity. This immunity is present right from birth. It is the natural defense system of the body. It comprises the various types of barriers which prevent entry of foreign agents into the body. So now I am going to discuss the different types of barriers which are present in our body that prevents the entry of foreign agents. The first barrier is the epithelial surface. The healthy skin possesses bactericidal activity due to the presence of high concentration of salt in drying sweat. Sebaceous secretions and long chain of fatty acids have bactericidal and fungicidal properties. So on human skin, there are different glands present. There are sweat glands, sebaceous glands, and these glands, they produce different secretions. And these secretions, they have high salt concentration that leads to bactericidal and fungicidal properties. Bactericidal means, cidal means to kill, and bacteria means bacteria. So the sweat or the sebaceous secretion, they can kill different varieties of bacteria and varieties of fungi. The nose prevents entry of microorganisms. The inhaled particles gets arrested through air at or near the nasal orifice. Those that pass beyond are held by mucus lining the epithelium and are swept back to pharynx where they tend to swallow or coughed out. The cough reflex is an important defense mechanism of respiratory tract. So when a person coughs, all the pathogenic microorganisms which are there in the respiratory tract, they are given out. The mouth is constantly bathed in saliva, which has inhibitory effect on microorganisms. So saliva also has inhibitory effect on microorganisms. The acidity of gastric secretions in the stomach destroys many microorganisms. As you all know, the gastric juice is acidic in nature because of presence of dilute HCl. And this dilute HCl, it destroys different microorganisms present in food and water that we consume. The flushing action of urine eliminates bacteria from the urethra. Spermine and zinc present in semen are antibacterial. Tears contain an enzyme, lysozyme, which is active against gram-positive bacteria, keeping our conjunctiva free of pathogenic microorganisms. Students, please remember the name of the enzyme which is present in our tears, and the name of that enzyme is lysozyme. B. Second barrier is antimicrobial substances in blood and tissues. The complement system contains more than 30 serum proteins circulating in the blood in an inactive state. The presence of microbial pathogen activates the complement cascade to eliminate pathogens. So in our blood, there are different proteins present, and these proteins, they are in an inactive state. So when any pathogenic microorganism enters in our body, these proteins, they get activated so that the elimination of pathogen will be faster. The interferons are a class of cytokines released by virally infected cells and certain white blood cells to stimulate other cells to protect themselves from viral infection. So when any person gets infected due to a virus, a special type of proteins are produced in his or her body, and those soluble proteins are called as interferons. The third barrier that provides us innate immunity is the cellular factors in innate immunity. Phagocytic cells discovered by Mechnikov in 1882 are grouped as microphages and macrophages. A class of lymphocytes called natural killer cells is important in non-specific defense against viral infections and tumors. The next barrier that gives us innate immunity is the fever. Increase in the body temperature following the infection helps to accelerate the physiological processes to destroy the invading pathogens. So when any individual gets infected, there is slight increase in the body temperature, and this increase in body temperature actually helps to destroy the pathogenic microorganism. Also, fever stimulates the production of interferon and helps in recovery from viral infections. Let's see what are acute phase proteins. Infection on injury leads to a sudden increase in concentration of certain plasma proteins, which are collectively called acute phase proteins. These proteins enhances host resistance, they prevent tissue injury and also promote repair of inflammatory lesions. Friends, do subscribe to my channel Biology 360 and click on the bell icon to receive the notifications of all the latest biology videos. Please post your comments in the comment box as well. Thank you.